Questions?
Coach, your feeling today when you wake up? It's the playoffs?
Sun shining, first day of the Masters, playoff hockey. Can't beat this time of year.
Did you watch much of the games last night and take anything from that?
Certainly watched Columbus, Tampa, start to finish. A bit of the Islanders. Did not stay up late to watch the Vegas. Great comeback by Columbus. I'm watching how the officials call the game as much as anything. It looked like a little. They let them play a little more in Columbus. Maybe the Islanders a little tighter. So I think it depends on the individual. Pace of the game, you knew it would be up. Physicality was up. I don't think there was any surprises there, other than Tampa gave up a lead, and you don't usually see that. But I'm not really looking at that yet. It's more about style of play and how the officials are calling the game. See how that goes.
What do you like about the way your team is playing going into this series?
I'm going to discount a little bit at the end because of the mixed lineup. I think before that we were solid. We had a little hiccup there at home. We got back to our game, Columbus, Minnesota. Even Tampa, we gave up some goals, but it wasn't like it was a complete barrage of shots. So I like the guys are trying to respect the way we have to play to win our identity, which is take care of the puck, defend well, still stay on the attack. I think the last part of that is the attack. I think that was the biggest improvement for our group probably the last 6 weeks, is we were able to finish a lot more plays, get a lot more secondary scoring. And as a result, we could, if we find ourselves not at our best one night defensively, we still win games where early in the year that was a challenge.
So what we saw yesterday is where you're going with tonight?
Yeah, Bacchus will be out in Camphor. Tuca's in nets. I can go through the lines if you need them, but I think they were as practice. Would you like me to go through and do your work? No, I can do it. It's a joke. Bernie's line staying together. DeBrus, Krejci, Kuhlman. Charlie's with Nordstrom and Wagner and Johansson, Coyle.
You didn't have Joe. Go ahead, Mike.
Danton is the way probably up and down the lineup, maybe more than anybody on this team. How do you arrive at him with Charlie and Marcus?
Trustworthy player, still adds some secondary offense. Can contribute both power play and penalty kill. I like him better on left wing, but has played right wing with some level of success. I just think ultimately, if you had to choose, I'd choose left wing. I like DeBrus. I think he's been better on left, although he's played right. Allows us a little flexibility if we decide to change it. What if, you go through a lot of different things. What if Kuhlman has a tough time this first game, okay, and he can't, so who goes up there? Generally Charlie Coyle was there, but we like him at center with Crowley out, so let's take that one out off the, so it's Johansson or Hein can go up there as a right winger on their offside, and that would bump Kuhlman down. You're still going to get some minutes out of him. So that's one thought process of also using Danton, is that he can move around to different spots. And he's played up with the different players. What if we move past it down? Heinen's played with Berg. I know it's a lot in game, but I still think that the way we've done it all year, part of design, I tend to do that. And secondly is just we've had a lot of injuries in different lineups, so it's good to be flexible. I think our guys are fine with it for the most part. They've had to learn to deal with it for those two reasons I just said. They've got a coach that does it, and we've had different injuries. So. And I don't think it's hurt us as a group most nights. I think they just play.
In Johansson's case, he prefers left, right?
He does. He does. He has played predominantly left wing, but it's not that hard to switch. Honestly, he doesn't really have chemistry with anybody because he didn't play enough. He has some, but not to the point of the rest of the group. So to me, that's an easy switch right to left if we feel that's a better approach.
Where do you see Johansson's game? The first couple of games back, he had a tough time, but where do you see his overall game, regardless of lack of chemistry?
I liked his last few better than his first few. I think he's been around long enough to know that he was gearing himself up. He was brought in to help us in the playoffs. We were a good regular season team when he showed up. We continue to be that. He helped with that to a certain extent, got hurt. But now I think is when he truly knows he has to be at his best. Not that you're taking game 80 off and whatnot, but he was prepping for this. So I think he'll play well. I think he'll add some scoring and speed for us. Good series for him. They got a lot of speed. So we'll see how it plays out.
Bruce, with Marner, when he gets the puck, he likes to work it sometimes high in the zone, above the circles, like just give him the player and maybe that sector of the ice. What makes that a difficult thing to negate, to defend? What other options?
Well, individually for him, his skill set, he's got a lot of composure, he's got a lot of compete, so you can get a piece of him, strong on the puck. You know, he's not going to throw it away at the first sign of confrontation. Great vision. So all those attributes he has. In our defensive system, we're not man-to-man often, so I think he's smart at finding where our switches take place, so he can buy himself some time. So we've addressed that, hopefully to limit that time, but we're not changing our whole system for one player in D zone. We think we're a pretty good defensive zone team. We have to account for the 4 guys away from the puck when he starts to create space for himself, because that's when he gets dangerous. I think Goudreau is that way, right? Everyone gets drawn to him, and then you get sucked into watching him, and all of a sudden the puck's by you, and you have a bad stick and bad coverage. So we've got to make sure that when he starts dancing around out there and creates a little time and space, which he will, we've got to make sure that we find his outlets and clog up his outlets and give him the least dangerous type of shot in that situation. We've talked about that, but there's going to be breakdowns, and hopefully our goalie's there when we do have a breakdown, and it doesn't hurt us.
In your mind, what's the single biggest battleground area against that team that you need to win in order to take the series?
Slot battle, it's always that way for us. In the O-zone last year early on, we did a good job. We got pucks there, we got people there, we won that battle, got good looks, scored. As the series went on, they did a better job there. That continues into their power play. They're real good at pitching pucks in there, and they're hard in front. Tavares, Kadri, Matthews are big bodies that get there, Marlowe. So we got to make sure we win those areas. That's first and foremost. Obviously, we need to be good with the puck on the walls. That's a strength of our game in the O-zone, to protect it, force them to defend, breaking it out clean, and managing it so they're not coming back in transition. I think that's where they get us, is when we're not strong on it, and all of a sudden they're flying at us in ways.
Coach, you haven't seen them since they got Jake Muzzin, I believe. Just from film, what have you seen, how he's changed their blue line?
Well, he's a Stanley Cup champion. He's bigger. He's used to a more rugged game. So I suspect he's still trying to play the Maple Leafs way when you've played the LA Kings way. That they might be polar opposites for years. So you've got some habits ingrained in you. So I think it's a little bit of him trying to find his way back there. But I do believe when the puck drops, he's played in these situations, that he's going to be a very good player for him. But we're not going to over-focus on, we focus on individuals. We talk about Marner. We do have game plans for different areas of the ice. We just know he's a good, solid player, but we've got to attack him like all their other D, force them to defend in their own end. And that's our game plan with defensemen 1 through 6 or whoever else it is.
Thanks, everyone. Both of us are in shortly.